What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of The Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG. And on today's show, we got a lot of videos to watch today because it's Thursday. It's the end of the week, so why not? We got GXG tonight, so we go over a lot of news stories anyway. So today we're going to talk about Transformers Reactivate is officially dead. What happened? We're going to watch Random Black Gamer. He had a video about it, so we're going to watch that. We're going to watch Timothy Kane's video, who says, do gamers know what they like? So we're going to watch that as well. Robert Jones, you posted that in Discord, and I was like, that's funny because we're talking about that today. And then we're going to watch some videos of CES 2025, seeing what the new tech is, talk about it, have conversations about it. So that is what's on the show today. We're also going to briefly tell you about the Developer Direct returns on January 23rd, a celebration of what's coming for Xbox players. So that'll be on January 23rd. There's nothing really to tell in the thing. I'm just letting you guys know. January 23rd, the Developer Direct for Xbox. It happens at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. We might cover it live, but probably not. We'll probably just wait for them to do the stuff, and then we'll talk about it the following day. So if you like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you like to go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. Yeah, so the songs that played this morning, which the list is growing daily because I'm like addicted to this stuff, right? We played The Battlefield, Make a Game, Sell a Game. We got 7 out of 10 for IGN. We have Hasbro. We did the Marvel Rivals. What else did we do? I think that was it. I think we the microtransaction one. It's called The Price We Pay for microtransactions. So those are all the songs. So try to throw in some other new songs in there, which was the Hasbro one that we did yesterday. So how's everyone doing? What's going on, chat? What's going on, Kylo? What's going on, Wonder Rose? Big Mo, Eclipse, Water Bear, Sarge, what's going on? Who am I missing? Anybody missing? Robert Jones, Dustin, good morning. Dustin says, I'm kind of happy no Transformers Reactivate. It looks like a gacha game. It looks exactly like the first Descendant and Warframe. That's exactly what it was. That's the type of game it was. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at what it was going to be, or what happened to it. Oh, the ending of GXG? Yeah. I gotta put that into the rotation. Did you guys hear the song last night I made for Shooting the Shit with Sarge? What's going on, dog? No, the direct happens on the 23rd. On the 23rd. Dustin risking a ban. No, he's not risking a ban. Would you settle down? Settle down. Okay. All right, let's watch Transformers Reactivate. It's officially dead. What happened? We're watching the Random Black Gamer. So let's take a look at this.
What's going on, you guys? This is your boy RBG, aka the Random Black Gamer.
Can we just say this opening trailer that they showed, what was it, back in 2022? So we're talking 2 game shows ago. They showed this. They showed really no gameplay. We all got hyped up, and really all this was a advertisement to try to bring in developers into their studio. And this is the last we heard from the official developers. The day they showed this on the Game Awards, they said one thing afterwards. I think it was a couple weeks, and the official developers never said anything again.
We're bringing you another video and what seems to be the final nail in the coffin for Transformers Reactivate, because as you read by the title, it has officially been canceled.
Altern says, still grieving the death of Transformers Reactivate. I have a question. I have a question. Every day we talk about news stories and conversations about current topics. Why is it because I'm talking about Transformers Reactivate you think I'm still coping with Transformers dying? We're literally having a conversation about news stories and topics that happen every single day. It happened yesterday morning, and someone made a video today.
So, which, if I'm going to be candid, I just got to say that this really wasn't a surprise because there have been so many glaring issues in regards to Transformers Reactivate, which mainly stem from the lack of updates that we got from the game following its reveal trailer. If you were diligent enough to stay up to date on everything regarding this title, then you know it's been a one-sided battle with the content creators versus the officials.
I wouldn't really call it content creators versus officials, because you could look at games right now out there that the community makes games for it, like makes videos about the game because they like the game. Maybe something intrigued them about it, right? There's a Concord group still going on, right? These are people, no matter what happens, okay? This is what happens when people like a game and they want to show passion for it, right? We watched the video yesterday. There's still a Concord group. The game literally is dead. This game never came out, okay? And there was people hyping it up, and there's YouTube channels that were hyping it up because they were like, oh, yeah, this is going to be so good, I can't wait to play it, type of thing.
Damage in Hasbro. On one side of the fence, you have the creators like myself who just tried to give you guys something to keep you enthused, whether it be old concepts that we knew were very dated and didn't represent the final product, or what would have been the final product now that we know that this game is never going to come out. We just tried to make the best of what we could with the stuff that we had, because we knew that some of these ideas or concepts could be taken over to the newer build of the game that they were developing using Unreal Engine 5.
This is what I don't understand. They had Unreal Engine 4. Certain Infinity made the game with Digital Extreme. Digital Extreme is the same people that made Warframe, okay? So Certain Infinity and Digital Extremes were making the game all the way back in like 2017, okay? They had it up to 2020. Then they gave it to Splash Damage, and then Splash Damage brought in Bulkhead, and then outside sources, independent, whatever, contractors to work on this game. They never said anything afterwards. The only thing they said after they showed it in 2022 Christmas, okay, or Game Awards, is that they said, oh, we're updating it from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. That's why it's delayed. This is what they said. We're moving it from 4 to 5, and it's going to take some time. Then there was reports that it was only, it took them 3 months to move it over or whatever, and everything's great. And then nothing. Then nothing.
But unfortunately, it looks like we'll never see these ideas fully manifested into an actual game, which sucks because all the things that we got from the pre-alpha builds were looking very promising. But anyways, the developers of this project posted this on their official Twitter handle saying, and I quote, "Today we have some very difficult news to share."
Come on, random black gamer. Can we do dark mode for Twitter? Just flashbang me. I was like,
the decision has been made to end development of Transformers Reactivate. This means we will be scaling down to refocus our efforts on other projects. Unfortunately, despite every effort, a number of roles across the studios are now potentially at risk of redundancy. This decision did not come lightly, and it's a difficult time for the studio.
Yeah, seriously, I gotta put sunglasses on.
We want to take a moment to thank the team who worked on Transformers for their dedication and passion. Hasbro was an incredible and supportive partner throughout, and we hope to work with them again. To the many fans, your excitement and support helped keep us going. While not being able to see the game through to release is painful, having to say goodbye to friends and colleagues hurts even more. We're now focused on doing everything we can to support them through this tough period, just as we are committed.
We're going to do everything we can to support them through this tough period, even though we fired them all. I'm sorry I have to fire you. You need anything? You need anything? You need a coffee? You need a bagel or something? You want a muffin before you leave?
To caring for those who will stay with us as we build a stronger Splash Damage for the future. Thank you for your compassion and understanding. And I don't know how to feel about this, guys. I feel bitter. I feel betrayed. I feel like this company...
The more I read about it, Crowded, the wording, I don't know if it's more on Hasbro or Splash Damage itself, because there's been other news that came out that Splash Damage was like shoving off this game to somebody else, right? They were trying to move it over. Hence, even in their own article, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna move on to other things and get other projects. I'll tell you what, I'm not looking forward to anything Splash Damage is doing. Nothing. Nothing. I'm not looking for anything. They could come out with the next greatest thing. I'll be looking at it going, well, I'll wait for it. I'll wait for it to launch before I get any excitement from Splash Damage game.
Company did not do a good job in terms of communicating.
Hence why Bulkhead is making the multiplayer game with Shroud, aren't they? They were the ones, right? Bulkhead, which was also the good developers working on this game, is making a game with Shroud and Sacriel.
What was going on with this project. Only thing we asked for was like brief updates, maybe give us an idea of what the gameplay would consist of instead of us relying heavily on leaks. But no, all we got was radio silence, which goes back to what I was saying. It was up to the content creators to do all of the heavy lifting to remind people that this game did exist, because we knew that there were a lot of TF fans like ourselves who were just salivating at the mouths to get their.
So now you look at games like, obviously, I talk about movie industry all the time. I work on back in the day, I worked on plenty of projects that never saw the light of day for whatever reason. If the editing process, they just didn't do good or whatever. Video games, there's a lot of games that come out, like Skull and Bones, that was worked on for, 11 years? And then it comes out, and it's nothing like what they first advertised it, right? And it's out, right? So it made it to the finish line. And here it is, 1 year later, Skull and Bones is still here, okay? Then there's games like Anthem. They didn't even know what the hell they were doing for the first 7 years of development. And then they showed it at E3, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's what we're making, right? So that's what that is. Then you have games like No Man's Sky that had a vision, couldn't get that vision out, and then took them 8 years to finish it after the 6 years of development time, right? Then you have games like Cyberpunk 2077 that look at all of that and say, yeah, we're not going to do what they did, and then comes out and does exactly the same thing. Then you have games like The Day Before that hype it up for 2 years, 3 years, and then 2 days later they fail and close their studio down. There's all sorts of stuff that happens. Maybe it's for the best that this didn't come out, because maybe it would have been broke, buggy, and unfinished, and they didn't put their best foot forward, right? Maybe it's a sign that this is actually better that it didn't. Maybe we would have gotten a Redfall because of them. Who knows?
Hands
it's
on
still
a
shitty
new
Transformers
game that was just as good as the War for Cybertron games, as well as Transformers Devastation, which are titles of a bygone era. Like, these games are limited in quantity and availability because of how they were blacklisted by Activision and Hasbro after their deal expired. And people who did have those games, we were just playing them for almost a decade now, just waiting until we got our hands on Transformers Reactivate. I don't mean to sound like a broken record at this point, especially for those who have been keeping up with all my updates on this, but
that's true, Kylo. That's true, because it was an obligation that they had to get it finished.
This game has been in development since 2017, and before Splash Damage was announced as the developer for this title, it was originally Certain Affinity who was rumored to be working on it. And if you ask me, I feel like Certain Affinity pretty much did most of the work.
I agree. Certain Affinity, for the footage that we saw, all the leaked footage up to the point we saw all the footage, all the videos I created was the video stuff that was leaked by RoboGamer1HD and DPZ Luna, right? That was all Certain Infinity's actual gameplay. And that looked phenomenal. And then Splash Damage took over, and all we got was this trailer.
Most of the ground.
We do have gameplay now, which I'll show you after this.
Work establishing what they wanted this game to really be, which is a third-person shooter game with online elements. It seems like everything that we've gotten from all the leaks comes from Certain Affinity. When
this is some gameplay right here, actual gameplay.
They were working on this project.
This is
I'm not really sure
stuff.
What happened to cause this transition to another development studio to helm the project, but I honestly believe that if they had stayed the course, this game would have been released a year or two ago, because it looked like at least 2 years of development time was put into it. While it was clear that the game was nowhere near finished, you could still get a general idea of what they were going for with it. The designs had a familiar yet post-apocalyptic aesthetic going for them, and the gameplay seemed to take a similar approach of the War for Cybertron games, with a few modifications and things to make it stand out from its predecessors. I can only imagine how many millions were wasted for this project.
Oh yeah. Like, yeah, I would say something along the lines. I don't know if it's 400 million, but it's definitely over 2. Definitely. Just wasting money.
You guys remember the toys were being...
Here's another debacle, right? This game went from Transformers, I don't know if it was Transformers Universe or whatever, to Transformers whatever, and then it was called Rise, and then it went from Rise to Reactivate, and then they had the toys. Think about this. They had the toys for Transformers Rise printed, made, moldings done, everything for the game that Certain Infinity was working on. Then they sold it, whatever, to Splash Damage, and then they converted it to Transformers Reactivate, which then they made those toys. So there's toys out there with the Transformers Rise logo on it. There's toys out there with Transformers Reactivate on there, and there's no game. They made toys for a game that no longer exists. The amount of stupidity and money wasted is phenomenal by Hasbro.
Manufactured 2 years before the official reveal for Transformers Reactivate, which the toys were plastered with the logos Transformers Rise on them, only for them to be updated later after we finally got that reveal trailer, which probably did more harm than good to Hasbro, since you guys have to keep in mind that they have to preserve as much shelf and storage space as possible when it comes to selling toys. They can't have these old toys sitting there collecting dust when they have newer toys that need that space to be sold. So that right there was a red flag in and of itself.
Oh, and they're also not moving forward. Someone said it yesterday, and I had to look it up after the fact, because I liked the Transformers 1 movie that came out, but it didn't do well because they didn't market it at all, right? They marketed very little, so it failed, and they're not moving forward with the sequel to the Transformers 1 film that came out. They're also canceling the show Earthspark, I believe. Hasbro is just on fire right now.
And then hearing that this is going to be an online games as a service title only made me more apprehensive, because when it comes to online Transformers games, they have a history of being dead on arrival. I know a lot of you guys probably remember a game by the name of Transformers Universe, which was released.
Yep. Transformers Universe came out in 2011, 12, something like that. Maybe 14.
All the way back in 2012. A game that was
2012. The other game we played was Transformers Online, which basically was Overwatch. Was an Overwatch game for Transformers. It was awesome.
It was originally going to be an online MMO, but shifted over to being a tactical action game, and it borrowed heavily from the Transformers Prime / Aligned continuity aesthetics. It looked to be a very
You remember playing this one, Sarge? Remember I told you about this one? We played it way back when?
promising title, and we got a chance to experience it in the online beta for 2 years before it was ultimately canceled. Fast forward a few years, in 2016 we get the announcement that a Chinese developer by the name of Tencent Games was developing a Transformers Online game titled Transformers Online, which was a first-person role-based team shooter. And even though it was nothing more than an Overwatch clone, it at least had a nice design philosophy.
Imagine Marvel Rivals, but with Transformers before Overwatch. It was Overwatch before Overwatch.
I like how there were some unique designs mixed in with the Michael Bay aesthetics. Not to mention that all the moves that were copied and pasted from Overwatch were placed on the appropriate characters and it matched their playstyle. And I got a chance to experience the beta for that before it was canceled in 2015. And this is why I was so apprehensive when I heard that Transformers Reactivate was going to be an online.
And this is what Transformers is now. Hasbro doesn't know what to do with their own goddamn IP. So they take Transformers, they put it into Fortnite. They take Transformers and put it into World of Warships. They take Transformers and they put it with PUBG. They take Transformers. They can't make their own game. They can't make their own stuff. They can only go, hey, you want to put Transformers in your game for a little promotion?
Multiplayer game, as opposed to just being a single player with online elements in it. Like, that's what we got from the.
How the fuck do you own robots and vehicles? Your whole population on planet Earth is boys, okay? And not do anything with it. Please, someone explain to me how you can fuck up vehicles and robots combined to sell it to boys.
War for Cybertron games. For the most part, you got a chance to play a stellar single-player campaign, and then when you wanted to take the fun online with your friends,
you like jets? Transformers got it. You like sports cars? Transformers got it. You like construction vehicles? Transformers got them. You like insects? Transformers has got them. You like fucking dinosaurs? Transformers has them. What the fuck, Hasbro?
You could do that in online multiplayer and capture the flag and other online features. I just find it funny and a bit ironic that although those other games I mentioned were cancelled, at least I got a chance to experience them before they were ultimately shelved. We didn't even get a chance to see any gameplay for Transformers Reactivate.
Yeah, they have fucking dinosaurs. That's right.
Let alone touch a controller and play the game for ourselves. That's how underwhelming the marketing has been for this project. And there have been some rumors going on for quite some time now about what happened to get to this point. Like, I think the biggest sign that this game was never going to see the light of day came from that anonymous tip from somebody that was claiming to have worked with Splash Damage, who had...
I don't know if it was Hasbro's decision, Stealth. All I know is Hasbro's fucking retarded as a company, that they have G.I. Joe and Transformers and D&D, and they can't make money. That's what's mind-blowing to me.
Had nothing but negative things to say about the work environment. They went into details about how much of a joke the upper management was and how the project continued to change leaderships and teams, and how some of the lead developers were holding key positions in the project management who cared more about holding their positions than well-being and the success of the projects. But the biggest statement that led me to believe that this game was pretty much dead was when this alleged employee said that they weren't making progress. All they did was make these pretty demo builds to satisfy the funders. Just reading that particular statement left a bad feeling in my stomach, and I just knew right then and there that we should expect the worst once we got the official announcement from Splash Damage and Hasbro. And here we are, just sitting here wondering why we wasted so much time investing into this game that was never going to see the light of day. Like, why even get our excitement up? Why release that trailer to...
And look, I'm the one that says, if you got nothing to say, don't say it. Don't show it, which they haven't. They specifically didn't say anything. But why show the trailer in the beginning anyway? If you're not going to make a game, now obviously 2 years ago they didn't know they were going to cancel the game, okay? But you got to imagine that taking it, something that was in works for 3 to 4 years, and then taking it over, then showing it. When you show a cinematic trailer, it's about 2 years out, okay? When you show an in-game trailer, it's about a year out, okay? If you show gameplay, it could be launched like tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, but why show it at all?
To get us hyped and reassure us that this game was even coming in the first place. What I will say is that I give Splash Damage credit because they have been able to keep us updated in some form or capacity by saying that they didn't have any announcements to give.
Sure, which is if you don't have an announcement, cool. Don't have an announcement. But why go through the whole process and go, you know what? Let's just cancel it.
For certain years, and that they would have to wait to give an announcement at a later date. Hasbro, on the other hand, they have said nothing. Zilch.
No, Hasbro never says anything. Hasbro stays quiet. They're like, this is bad. Let's just stay quiet. It'll blow over like Wizards of the Coast.
Nada. We went from Transformers Rise to Transformers Reactivate to Transformers Deactivate.
Oh, nice line. Nice. Good line. Transformers Deactivate.
When it wasn't hyping us up, it was causing us to be at each other's throats. Like, if you guys aren't aware of this, there has been an ongoing beef stemming between certain content creators and reporters who wanted to bring you the coverage when it came to Transformers Reactivate, but they wanted to be the top guy to do so. And we saw those content creators go back and forth over a game that wasn't even coming out. It's just a sad and disappointing time to be a Transformers fan, especially considering the current state that the franchise and Hasbro are in right now. Although Transformers 1 was well received by fans and critics alike, it flopped at the box office and there's no signs of it receiving a sequel. And if you're a fan of Transformers Earthspark, then chances are you won't get a chance to see that have another season, since it's rumored that they're gonna can that show.
Imagine fucking up this bad with the IPs that you own. Amazing. You know what they should do? They should just release the code. Because there's the codes out there for certain Infinities build for Transformers. Release it like they just did Battlefront 3 for the Wii. Just release it. Release it, and that way people play the game, have fun with it, modders mod the fucking thing, and Hasbro makes $0 off of it.
and start another Transformers show. And now we have the final confirmation that Transformers Reactivate is in fact dead and will never see the light of day on store shelves. But hey, at least you have that Transformers G.I. Joe crossover to look forward to, which nobody really asked for, so yeah. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. I just thought I'd give you my thoughts and opinions on this because you guys have been plastering that the game is dead.
Yeah, two content creators, RoboGamer 1 HD and DPZ Luna, right? Two content creators that were covering the game. I don't know the story, so I'm not going to pretend I know, but they have beef with each other because they were leaking stuff, and one was taking credit of the other, but the other one says that he was taking credit for the other, and they were just bickering over who had the information for the game. Well, now looking back at it, boy, does it look stupid.
Or does
anybody
want to tell him on all of my older Transformers Reactivate videos?
Yeah, people are going on his old videos telling him that it's canceled. Yeah, buddy, those videos were made 2 years ago.
Well aware that this game has been canceled, so you don't need to continue to put that in there anymore. This will probably be the last video I do on this video game unless any news or leaks come out regarding what went into the development and what caused it to ultimately be canned. But until then, we're just gonna let this thing fade out of existence. Anyways, what are your thoughts on this? Are you disappointed that you didn't get a chance to play Transformers Reactivate, or are you happy because you didn't want it to be an online only game? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, I ask you like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a
how many Marvel's games had to come out before it failed? I mean, before it succeeded, right? How many Marvel games came out that just didn't succeed? You know? I'm just mind blown that Hasbro has all of these IPs. They own D&D. They have the rights to G.I. Joe. They have the rights to Transformers. Yet every year we get an Assassin's Creed game. Every year we get a Call of Duty game. Every year we get a Madden game. Every year with these generic, right? AC as a whole is a brand, right? But there's nothing to sell there except it's a history game. It's made up. Okay, you're an assassin. You can stab people. Sells every year. Every year it comes out. They're like, what about if I told you I had these robots in disguise that do cool things and are ships and planes and trucks and insects and dinosaurs? They're like, I don't know. Since the world population, there's not many kids or boys that would love these cool things. I don't know. Amazing. Freaking amazing. Altered says, so for a small recap, no one is able to do a game about franchise of robots that can transform into any vehicles or animals. Just lame. Racing/shooting game. Right. What you have is Transformers Galactic. What was it called? Galactic whatever. It's a goddamn Mario Kart. And it's a shitty version. The shitty version of it. So, how? How do you fuck this up? How do you fuck up? How do you fuck this up? How do you fuck this up? High Table says Transformers Mario Kart. Oh yeah, you didn't know? Hold on, let me get you a clip. Let me get you the Transformers game. This is the latest Transformer game that came out. This is the last Transformers game that came out. Are you ready? Here it is.
Welcome to Transformers Galactic Trials. Choose your side and race into battle with your favorite Autobots and Decepticons. Start with legendary characters like Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Megatron, each bringing unique skills and powerful weapons to the race, and unlock all 11 characters. Optimus Prime's gravitational axe throw or Bumblebee's plasma sting will give you the edge. As you progress, unlock new characters like Alita 1 with her missile rain, and Wheeljack with the Wrecking Bomb. Customize your character with various skills, weapons, and relics to suit your playstyle. Let the galactic trials begin.
Let's not. Let's not let it begin. Nope, that's on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series S and X. It's on Steam. It's on Switch. Krebs, yeah, that's the only thing I ever was excited for. See? And I let my guard down. I said it yesterday. The only thing I was excited for in gaming was that Transformers game. You see how much an IP can change what you think, right? Lets your guard down, right? I was so excited. I was like, oh, yeah, we finally get a Transformers game like a Destiny, right? We finally get that game that I was asking for the entire time, and I fucked it up. You will never see excitement from me again for any game until it's out and I'm playing it. I will never be like, well, there it is. Doesn't matter what they show me. And they can show me another Transformers and be like, this is the greatest. It's Grand Theft Auto, but with Transformers. I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yep. I will never, ever be excited again. Let me play this again. But this time,
we were hyped to play. Splash damage had the spark, but Hasbro blew it away. Canceled in the darkness. No bots will roll today. Hasbro strikes again. Guess the kids won't wanna stay. Hasbro, what a joke, can't keep the fire alive. G.I. Joe's in the gutter.
This trailer seems already better.
Crying cause he can't get a reboot. Hasbro, what a joke, can't keep the fire alive. G.I. Joe's in the gutter and the bots took a dive. You're fumbling all your treasures.
We're just Transformers. We don't have Reactivate on the screen.
Now everyone's asking how low. Hasbro. Hey Hasbro, listen up. Remember when toys were cool? When kids begged for them under the tree. Now it's all dust on the shelves and IPs rusting away. Do better! They don't know what they're doing, just tossing out the gold. While G.I. Joe's abandoned and the Transformers grow old. The fans are still here waiting,
True.
ready for the fight. But Hasbro can't deliver, guess they're losing their sight. Hasbro, what a joke, can't keep the fire alive. G.I. Joe's in the gutter and the bots took a dive.
This is what the game is. This is the actual game. This is early access, early alpha or beta build, whatever. This is the actual game that they canceled. This is the actual game. So when Certain Infinity had it, it wasn't going to be, it was supposedly it was going to be an open world game. And then they made it more not open world for Certain Infinity. And then when Splash Damage took over, they made it back into like an open world game. Okay. And you were going to be able to just, if you guys played the first Descendant, That's basically the way it was described. Okay, so this is before First Descendant came out, but you would earn like, so you start off with they'll put out, let's say, Starscream, Bumblebee, Soundwave, and Optimus Prime. Okay, you would pick one of those characters, and then you would go earn the other ones or go find the other ones, and then you would have a collection, start collecting like Warframes. Okay, where you could start collecting the Transformers or whatnot, right? The skins or whatever you want to call it. That's what it was. But it was a full-fledged campaign, right? You could be Autobots, you could be Decepticons. So this is it. So the purple stuff you see, I'm assuming that's the rendering or whatever they're doing, when they're creating the game to know the paths or whatnot, right? There's gameplay out there of Starscream, Shockwave. Yeah, it was supposed to be free to play. It was supposed to be free to play. So somewhere along the line, they went, you know what? People are just not buying microtransactions. People are not buying skins. People are not doing, they don't like free to play games, even though the top games are like free to play. And look what Marvel Rivals is doing right now. Here, I'll bring out the audio for a second so you can hear it. It's just the motor sounds. You could tell they're like placeholders. I don't know if that would be his actual sound. Maybe it is. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Mario nonsense. That's the game they put out. Obviously, different developers, different studio. But what I'm talking about, Hasbro's like, yeah, put that out. Yeah, the rumor was it was supposed to be free to play because it was the same business format as Warframe. Who knows though? It could have been Suicide Squad. Could have been Suicide Squad. Even though I had fun with Suicide Squad's campaign, the end game and stuff, it could have been terrible. It's just sad that we will never know. We'll never know, right? Make a game, sell a game. Make the game. Put the game out, right? So from that, we're going over here to another video called Do Gamers Know What They Like? Now, Timothy Kane is someone that worked in the industry, and he has a channel where he talks about a lot of stuff behind the scenes and whatnot. And this particular video, he's talking about that gamers don't know what they like, okay? But my question is, if you're making a game, right? If you're making a game, you let me know what your game is, right? So if you're telling me that you're making a brand new independent game, no attachment to IPs or anything like that, you're just making a game. I'm telling a story about an intergalactic time traveler that it's they can go to space and on the planets like a No Man's Sky type of thing, right? Like an intergalactic time traveler that action combat. You make the game, and then you tell me what that game is, right? And then when the game looks cool, if it looks cool, I'm like, great, that looks amazing. Let me play that game. Then you start playing the game, and then you start playing going, oh, well, this because it's an action-adventure game, and it's a space game, it should be like the other action-adventure games, right? So if it's missing something in the game, you're like, well, I kind of wish it had what this game had because this game was like the top, right? So if, let's say Mass Effect or Mass Effect 2 was like the top, okay? And you're comparing it to that, you'd be like, well, it would really be cool if they had this like Mass Effect. But if it's missing that, then you would complain about it, right? As a gamer, you'd be like, "Oh man, it's a fun game, it's a good game, but it's missing something. It's missing what like Mass Effect 2 was doing with the combat or whatever." Okay? We know what we want once we get it. If you're making the same type of thing, Marvel's Rivals is Overwatch. What did Overwatch do or not do? And did Marvel Rivals fix it? Okay? Well, there was balancing issues in Overwatch. There wasn't a lot of characters when it first came out. What did Marvel Rivals do? Well, they kind of fixed the balancing issues, because not being balanced is balanced, because everything's like chaotic. There's the team ups that they're doing. And on top of that, they put way more characters in at launch instead of what Overwatch did, right? So they had the bar, and they same type of game, and they raised the bar a little bit, and that's what they did, what the gamers were asking for. If you're making a brand new game, just make a game, sell a game of what you want to try to sell us. So let's watch this video now.
Hi everyone, it's me, Tim. Today I want to talk about the question, do game players even know what they like? I almost called this, game players don't know what they like, but I figured...
I'm pretty sure we all know what we like. Pretty sure everyone knows what they like. Doesn't matter if it's food, movies, music. If you're an adult, teenager, you've lived enough to know what you like at that moment in your time.
It would lead to a better comment section if I posed it as a question. Let me tell you why I thought of this. I was watching a comedian podcast, not a comedy podcast. I wasn't watching comedians do stand-up. I was talking about comedians talk with each other about being comedians. And one of them made a comment that it's very hard to come up with jokes in a world where audience only know what they find unfunny. And most of them couldn't write a joke if their lives depended on it.
I see what he's saying here, right? We comment because we've never made a game before, which is understandable, right? You can comment on a comedian because you've never been a stand-up comedian before. You can comment on art and say, oh, well, I would have done this. But you have to have that skill first to do what you're doing, okay? So he's talking about a comedian saying the comedians, you know, these people that are commenting, you're writing a joke for someone, and these people might not like a joke, but those people can't write jokes. Sure. But as a comedian, you have to craft your skill to, if you write a joke, it might not hit with everybody, but that's okay. You have to still do it and then adjust, right? So if you tell a joke and it doesn't get people to laugh, then you either rework the joke in a different way, use the same joke, but say it differently, okay? Or scrap the joke.
Especially a joke that you could say in stand-up. And I thought that was interesting because, first of all, I've met a lot of people who think they're funny, and they are not funny.
Funny is different for everybody. Sarcastic funny, dry humor funny, right? So what someone thinks is not funny, other people think is hilarious. And then other people look at it and go, why is everyone laughing?
But also, stand-up comedy is a perfect example of it doesn't require any equipment or anything. It's basically you, and it's
called talent.
Pure skill. And there's a lot of people who think they're good at it who are not good at it.
Well, there's people that are good just from the start. They're born with it. And then other people can learn and become it. Right? Like there's natural skill and then there's learned skill.
And I thought that was interesting because it was purely skill-based. But what the comedian was...
But it's not purely skill-based.
Was essentially saying is it's hard to get feedback from an audience because they're laugh when you say...
Mo says, yeah, but funny is funny. No, that's not true. What someone thinks is funny, someone might not think is funny. They might get offended by it. Mo, you see what I'm saying? Not every joke is funny to everybody. Not every movie is meant for everybody. Not every game is meant for everybody.
Say something funny and groan or boo when you say something not funny, but they're not actually telling you what it is they liked and didn't disliked about those jokes. You only know whether it was a hit or a miss. This is similar in the game industry, but what really knocked it home for me is someone mentioned a George R.R. Martin quote, which I looked up. He was talking about book readers, and he said, quote, "Now social media is ruled by anti-fans who would rather talk about the stuff they hate than the stuff they love."
Sure. Right? There's constructive criticism and there's just criticism. I give criticism all the time to certain things, right? I love a game. Like, I played Star Wars Outlaws. I liked it. but I also gave criticism to what it was on why it wasn't as good as that everyone says it was. And then everyone defended it. And then miraculously, the developers fixed the things that were wrong with the game that people gave constructive criticism. Now, if you're going to be a developer, if you're going to be a YouTuber, if you're going to be a stand-up comedian, if you're going to be anybody that's in front of anybody else where your work is in front of somebody and someone comments and gives you a comment in the comment section, gives you criticism about your joke, if you can't take that for just the face value and you start taking offense to it, that's on you, the creator, okay? So if someone leaves a comment and says something in chat right now, right, says something, I could choose to read it and interact with that, or I just ignore it, right? So if someone enjoys, like, the music I'm playing that I created, if everyone's like, I don't really like that song or whatever, okay, what's the majority? Does the majority like it? Does the majority care? If one person hates it, am I supposed to change it? You see what I'm saying? So it sounds like they're focusing in on the people that hate it, and they're looking at the people that are not giving constructive criticism. They're giving just, I hate it. Why do you hate it? It just sucks. Okay, but that's not helpful for us. Well, great. Then go look for the people that are giving constructive criticism, not the people that are not giving constructive criticism.
Unquote. Now, whether or not social media is the cause, I don't know. That's a whole other discussion. I don't even want to have it. But I do see a rise over the decades of my career in how games are discussed, in person and online, which is a prioritization of the bad features over the good. People love to talk about what they hate. And some of them almost never even mention what it is they like. What would they prefer instead?
The stuff that they're mentioning that they don't like is the stuff that's the problem. The thing that they like is everything else they didn't bring up. Am I wrong here? Right? If I like the music in a game and the gameplay of the game, but the graphics suck, if I bring up the graphics are bad, I don't like the graphics. But what do you like? Everything I didn't just tell you, right? As a person that takes constructive criticism, are you going to go, what did you like about the game? Well, I love the graphics and the sound design. Okay. Well, game's perfect then. They're only telling us what they like. We don't need to fix the stuff they didn't mention. So why would I mention the stuff that I like when you're asking for constructive criticism and I'm giving it to you? Your NPCs are broke. They don't take cover. Their shooting is terrible. They don't do anything. They just stand there. But what did you like about the game? Everything else. This is the stuff I don't like, and this is why I'm telling you.
And I get it with the rise of monetized channels. I totally understand that rage.
Unless the game is so bad and there's so many problems, you're like, the only thing I liked in the game was the graphics. What didn't you like? The graphics are great.
Bait gets more clicks. So if you go on and have a channel and you go, I hate this and these people are dumb and blah, you get more clicks just because that's what people respond to. But it doesn't really explain forums.
Am I related to this guy? That's the most racist thing I think you've ever said, Rode. Are you trying to say because I'm a white guy with a beard with a receding hairline, I'm related to this guy? God, you're racist, dude.
Or comment sections where the people who are leaving the comments, they have no stake in how many people read their comment. But still,
no, I didn't cover Zuckerberg stuff.
You find that complaints about features are on the rise, and constructive feedback saying, I wish they had done this instead, or I like this in my games, is on the decline. At least, at the very minimum, the ratio has been increasing from bad to good. The weird thing about this is, I see people complaining about features that they can 100% absolutely...
That better? Is that good? All right.
Absolutely ignore. Yes, the game has that feature. Yes, the game is 100% playable without the feature. But they complain that
I have to rewind because I was messing with roadkill.
The ratio has been increasing from bad to good. The weird thing about this is, I see people complaining about features that they can 100% absolutely ignore. Yes, the game has that feature. Yes, the game is 100% playable without the feature, but they complain that the feature exists. Like, oh, it's there, it's looking at me.
I need an example for this. I need an example of this. People are complaining about a feature. So, Battlefield 2042, a scoreboard that's been in the game the entire time. Okay? A scoreboard. So someone's complaining about a feature. Hey, the feature's there. I don't like the scoreboard because it makes me feel bad about myself because I can see the other people beating me. That's what one of those people would say, right? They'd be like, I don't like this feature because it's a scoreboard. It makes me feel bad about myself, right? Like, what are we talking about a feature? Maybe he'll elaborate on it.
This comes up a lot about microtransactions. They're games that have 100% cosmetic only microtransactions.
Okay.
People will still complain they're there, even though those transactions in no way make the game easier to play. Or
what type of game is it? What type of game is it? Is it a game where it's an action adventure game and I'm going around the world and I can find armor that's in the chest that makes my armor better, but then a cooler piece of armor is in the microtransaction store that I can then transmog onto my character? It does affect the game because that means you're not putting that armor in the actual game. You're actually taking it out of the game, right? You're putting armor in the game because that's the game, but you're taking the cool looking armor out of the game and putting it in there because you're then monetizing about it, right? And then because 999,000 people are not buying the microtransactions, but the 1% of the people are buying the microtransactions. And then your new content that comes out, the game never gets updated because you just constantly update the store because people keep buying microtransactions. Then yes, that is a problem. But if it's a free-to-play game that you're not doing and it doesn't affect anything of the actual play itself, like a Marvel Rivals, then you're absolutely correct. The microtransaction store there, and you don't have to partake in that at all. You can just play the game, and that is a feature that's there that people could complain about, but it doesn't affect them. But there are terms that it does affect them in the actual game that they're playing.
it's not pay to win, it's just cosmetic microtransactions. I've mentioned this before, and people's response were, whoa, some of these people are spending or gambling addicts, and they can't control themselves, and this is predatory, and it's horrible. But then I did a fast travel video, and I'll link it below, where I said, well, what about fast travel? There are games. Now, you're right. Some people brought up there's
We're bouncing all over the place here.
some games that aren't designed well. So if you don't have fast travel and quest markers are harder to play.
I think Dragon Dogma 2 kind of did this, right? Even though it wasn't paid to fast travel because they gave you a certain amount of fast travel, but if you didn't want to play the game enough to get to the fast travel, you could then purchase the fast travel type of stuff. That right there is also bad, right? If you're making a game gigantic on purpose to then charge for a fast travel feature, that would be a problem, right? That would be a problem.
But there are a lot of games that you do not need to use fast travel. And they even have some difficulty modes where you can't. But guess what? People still do it anyway. Those games are provably that fast travel was not necessary to play the game or even to enjoy the game. But almost everybody does it anyway. There's no gambling component. And people will then go, well, it's more convenient or something like that. But they will do it.
They did it with Starfield. People complained that there was too much fast travel in Starfield, even though you didn't have to do fast travel at all if you didn't want to. Right? You didn't have to fast travel, but people were complaining that they fast travel all the time. There was load screens. They didn't want to engage with the content, so they complained about the content and then complained about the fast travel and the load screens. Well, if you just played the game, then you wouldn't have as many load screens because you would be playing the game more, and it wouldn't be fast travel after fast travel after fast travel.
Even when non-fast travel rewards them by giving them fun encounters or new location discovery, they will still use fast travel, which makes the game...
Again, it all depends on what type of game it is. If it's a looter shooter, and I go to Destiny, I fast travel to the spot, do the quest real fast, didn't get the drop I want, I'm going to back out and then do it again. Right? I'm going to just keep doing it over and over and over, and that's why the fast travel's there. I'm engaging with the content like that. But if I'm going through and there's nothing happening and there's no loot there, then if I'm doing a story mission and I have to go from point A to point B, and then I have to go back to A, but then I have to go to C, and I've already been to C, well, why am I going to walk from A to C when I can just fast travel? Do you know what I mean?
A lesser experience for them, but they can't seem to bring themselves not to use it. And then that's when they turn around and say, well, it's the designer's fault. He never should have put that in the first place. Which
Here's what's funny about this right now. He wants us to give him constructive criticism about things that are going on, and the examples that he's giving, he can't give one example yet. Like, name the game. Give the exact example that you're talking about right here.
which is, again, a whole other discussion of how much hand-holding do you want? And hand-holding...
Like, you're asking for us to tell you exactly what you would like, but yet you're explaining very generalistic of, like, give us an example of the fast travel you're talking about. Give us an example of people not engaging in the content.
In this case is, how much should the designer not let you pick and choose how you want to play the game? Should he force you to play it the way that you want to play it? And
It all depends what type of game it is. It all depends on what type of game it is. Make a game, sell a game, right? The song that I played about make a game, sell a game, okay, talks about put your passion and what you want to put into the game. If you, the developer, love the game that you're making, then tell us what the game is. Put the parameters, right? Can I customize a character? Is it just the character that you want me to play? Is it a story? Is it linear? Is it open world? Okay. And then when it's into these things, these brackets, if you're making a first-person shooter game, it needs to be up to par with the other first-person shooter games out there. Otherwise, no one's going to play your game. If it's a single-player linear game, then it needs to be up to par with other single-player linear games, and it has to hit that bar, and then you raise the bar and tell us what it is and be like, yeah, you know what? It was a good game, but I like this game better. Okay. And then the next game you come out with, if it's successful because people like playing your game, then you can make those changes. But with live service games, with online games as a service games, they're literally changing it all the time. You'd be like, you know what? This guy needs a buff. This person's weapon's too strong. And then they do fix it. They do listen to the people that tell us exactly what they want feedback for. But then the people that don't speak up, right? The people that don't speak up are like, well, we're not being represented. That's because you're not speaking. The people that are complaining, the people that give constructive criticism is the reason games get changed. If no one complained, then they would just give you a bill of goods, broke, buggy, unfinished, and they'd be like, well, that's it.
is the way you'll enjoy it and ignore millions of other players. And I'll get to that because a lot of you give feedback as if you're the only person on the planet, but you assume your views represent everyone else.
No one's doing that. No one's assuming that if I type, you need to buff a character or change the fast travel, that you should only listen to me. I'm just giving my feedback to it. And when other people do the same thing, if you start to notice a trend of, well, there's 1,000 people that have asked for fast travel to be changed. Instead of one person on Twitter hating on something with a hate boner, and they're like, well, this guy's toxic.
But I'll get to that. I've said before in many videos, if players would only talk more about what they want instead of what they don't want.
Hold on.
I've said before in many videos, if players would only talk more about what they want instead of what they don't want.
Talk about what we want and what we don't want. We are talking about what we want by talking about what we don't want. Am I crazy? If someone's complaining about fast travel, they're like, I don't like fast travel. That's telling you that we don't want fast travel. Am I wrong here, chat? Right? If again, let me rewind it one more time.
But I'll get to that. I've said before in many videos, if players would only talk more about what they want instead of what they don't want.
Okay, if they talk about what they want instead of don't want. In this example, I want fast travel. I don't like that there's no fast travel. So what he's saying to me right now is I'm telling him I don't like that there's no fast travel. And he's like, but what are you asking for? I don't understand what you're asking for. I don't like that there's no fast travel. Yeah, but you're complaining that there's no fast travel. Yes, that's correct. You're complaining that there's no fast travel. Yes, there's no fast travel. I would like fast travel. Yeah, but I don't understand what you're telling me. Am I hearing this wrong, chat? Yes and no 30? One more time.
But I'll get to that. I've said before in many videos, if players would only talk more about what they want instead of what they don't want,
okay,
this would be so much better and so much clearer and
so much clearer. Right? So much clearer. I want fast travel. I'm pissed that there's no fast travel in this wide open world game. But 30, you're not telling me what you want. I don't like that there's no fast travel in the game. There's no fast travel. You might want to put fast travel in the game. People will stop playing your game if they can't get to the places. This is amazing.
and so much cleaner
So much cleaner.
feedback. First of all, it gives developers a much better idea of how many people want those certain features. If you just say you don't like fast travel, but you don't say what you want,
I love that he's bringing up fast travel. Okay. I don't like fast travel.
instead,
In that example, what would you want instead? I don't want fast travel. I want a bicycle. Like, what are we talking about? I'm complaining that I would like fast travel, but you're not telling me how you want fast travel. Well, that's because you're the developer. You're the developer. I'm the player. I would like fast travel. How you decide to put fast travel in the game, that's up to the artist's decision.
they're not sure how to implement that fast travel-less game. Do you want more encounters? Do you want a paid way of doing fast travel?
No. Nobody ever wants a paid way to do fast travel. No. Man, this game would be a lot better if you just put fast travel, but not just free fast travel. We would like paid fast travel. $10 minimum to fast travel. I'm so confused. Sarge says he wants a positive chat room only. He wants everyone to say exactly what they want, so we know immediately he doesn't know how to talk to women. I mean, I don't know about that, Sarge, about the women part, but I'm a little confused on me telling you criticism of I want something in the game or don't like something in the game is telling you what I don't want or want in your game.
Do you want a resource-intensive way of doing fast travel? What do you want? Because doing nothing is 100% giving you not fast travel. But that's probably not what you want. You probably want something.
I think the example he's giving of not wanting fast travel is a little weird, but at the same time, it's like, okay, great. So not only do I have to not only check myself out at the grocery store now, and also have to get my own food at the food store, like at a restaurant, and I got to cook it myself. But now I got to tell the developers how to make a game that they sold to me. This is brilliant. Where do I get the checks from?
In exchange for not having the fast travel. And if you think this should be as simple as putting a checkbox in saying to turn off fast travel, you can see my video on doing difficulty, where there are people out there that think certain options should be decided by the designer, not the player, and therefore should not be provided in the options menu. They basically say, don't make me decide how.
Okay, we could go down the... We could go down...
Oh, where I land, I do not know. But here I fall down the rabbit's hole.
Okay. He's now just stated that putting options into the option menu. So in the option menu, if I don't want to fast travel, okay, if I don't want to fast travel, I could just click a box and say, I don't want to fast travel. So if that's my choice, then you would just shut it off. Okay. In a bare minimum, last night I was playing Marvel Rivals with all of you guys, okay? And I said out loud, I said, man, it's stupid that Captain America, that I have to turn on his run. Okay, I have to opt in for his speed run. It should just be he's always running. That's Captain America, right? Like, he's running, and that should be his power, because why would you shut it off? Like, why would you give yourself a disadvantage by shutting it off all the time, right? I guess it's my option. If I want to make the game harder for myself, then I wouldn't use the ability that's given to me. So in his example, if I don't want to fast travel, I go to option menu and I'd be like, I don't want to fast travel. That goes back to like Dark Souls then and everything else. See, Dark Souls didn't want to make an easy game. They wanted to make the game they wanted to make. They didn't put an option in there to make it easy, medium, or hard. It was just their level that they wanted you to play. Okay? You as the gamer decide at that moment, do I want to play this game and push through and try to better myself as a gamer? Or do I not want to partake in the game and not get an easy mode? You know what I mean? Because this is my argument all the time. If you put an option in there where there was an easy mode, a normal mode, and a hard mode, the people that are playing the game, they would 100% go to the option menu and go to easy mode and then play the game, because that's the easiest route. Water goes to the lowest point and finds its way through, okay? But if you want to make yourself better in life, you have to overcome circumstances that are hard, okay? So if you don't know how to make a fire, okay, and you're in your backyard trying to make a fire, you'll be like, just go get a lighter. But if you're out in the fucking woods and you're about to freeze to death, you're going to grab a stone and a stick, and you're going to sit there, and you're going to try to start a fire as fast and as hard as you could. It could take you 3 hours or 3 minutes, okay? But once you do it, you're going to be like, I know how to make a fucking fire now, okay? That is why there's no option mode in a Dark Souls game. You overcome something, right? People that want to overcome something, they push themselves to try to do it. Otherwise, it's just on easy mode. And it's like, but why do I want to play it then?
How to play your game. Just be aware, player, and therefore should not be provided in the options menu. They basically say, don't make me decide how to play your game.
Yeah, make a game, sell your game. Tell me what your game is. If there's little bits and pieces in your game that need fixing, we'll let you know to make it a better game. But you have the foundation there.
Just be aware that there's no good solution to this, because there are lots of players out there who want lots of options. They love playing around like, oh, good.
Holy shit. You know what this is? This is a person that can't make a decision. What do you want to eat tonight? I don't know. Kind of in the mood for Chinese, but it could be Mexican. Maybe I want Italian. I don't know. Well, can you pick? I don't want to pick. And then you're like, great. I want Italian. I don't want Italian. Like, pick your food that you would like to eat. Well, I don't care. I don't care. Great. Let's go to Italian, but I'm not in the mood for Italian. What are we having this conversation for? What do you want to eat? You pick. You pick. I don't want to pick. I don't care what we eat. It's like Abbott and Costello. Who's on first? What's on second?
Good, the game lets me turn off the HUD. Oh, good, the game lets me turn off fast travel. They want that. They look for that. So there is no good solution for a developer. The problem is when people just tell you what they don't want, it's hard to get an idea of what the percentage is of people who want an alternative.
Them telling you what they don't like is telling you what they like. They liked everything else. They didn't like this. Fix this.
It's like, okay, I know you don't want fast travel, but what do you want?
No wonder games take 6 years, 7 years to get created. Holy shit. Holy shit. No wonder it takes so long. It's not because of the actual making the game. It's people sitting in a room for 40 hours a week going, but what did they mean by add fast travel? I don't know. Did they want a bicycle? Should we just do just a screen? Should we put a spaceship in this fantasy game? What should we do? They're not telling us. Let's go back to the forums. How do you want us to fix fast travel? Just put fast travel in there. He's being very vague. We don't know what this person wants for fast travel.
Do you want more random encounters? Do you want a paid fast travel? things like that. Or if you're tired of me talking about fast travel, I've done 2 different videos on encumbrance. And there are plenty of people who think that how items should be available and what should happen after you pick them up should be handled differently.
I know exactly what he's talking about here. In certain games, if I pick up one item, an apple, okay, I pick up an apple. The apple stacks. So I can put up as many apples as I want, and it stacks to 50. But then I pick up this other item, and I can only pick up 2 or 1. And you're like, why can I hold 50 apples, but I can only hold 1 pair, right? Like, that's the problem with a lot of these games, that they put these items all in the world, but you can only hold a certain amount of this type and not a certain amount of that type. It's just like, just make them all the same. Why are we doing this? You're doing this to yourself on the back end. It was like, well, an apple weighs 2 kilograms and a pear weighs 5. So we can only hold this many apples. And it's like, it's an item in a game, and I just want to hold it in my backpack. I shouldn't have to do fucking math equations and weight capacity if your game doesn't have that. Just, you can hold 50 of every item, of items. You can hold 1 gun, you can hold 50 apples.
Read the comment section. I'm not sure people were reading them. People were leaving comments saying, everybody hates encumbrance. And then literally the next comment was,
No, not everyone hates encumbrance. They hate it when it has stupid rules to it.
oh, I love when games have encumbrance. I'm not sure people read the comments because there are a lot of comments where people love to say,
First of all, if you guys ever watch me play a game where you get over encumbered, it's because I'm a goddamn hoarder. The issue with that is, stop picking up shit.
hey, categorically, no one likes this, everyone hates this, right after a comment or before a comment of somebody saying they like it. So please take a look at the comment. In fact, let's talk a little bit about how to comment. Like I said, I would way prefer on this channel and for any forum where you're talking to game developers, say
If he ever sees this video, you're going to love this video, because I told you what I didn't like what you're saying, which is telling you what I liked about what you did say.
what it is you liked, especially why you liked doing that feature. I have an entire video on how to give good feedback. It's called Being Constructive. It's way easier to respond to constructive feedback than non-constructive.
Is he hearing what he's saying?
Constructive. It's way easier to respond to constructive feedback than non-constructive feedback.
Why are you reading the non-constructive feedback? Why are you reading the non-constructive feedback? You're over encumbered by people not giving you constructive criticism. Only listen to the people giving you constructive criticism. Holy shit. Why are we doing this?
So what I don't understand is if you really want to get what you want, say what it is you want.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I want fast travel. I want fast travel. But why? Why do you want fast travel? Tell me how to make fast travel. No. No, your game doesn't have fast travel. Your game needs fast travel. Put fast travel in the game.
Now, some people just like, no, I've got to say what I dislike. It's not fair. Saying what you dislike is just as useful. It is if it's specific.
Stop looking at people that don't give you constructive criticism. Only look at people that tell you the constructive part of the thing, why they want. Your whole video here is telling people that are not giving constructive criticism to give constructive criticism. But the people that are giving you constructive criticism, you don't want to, because they're giving you constructive criticism. They're telling you what's wrong with your game. You don't like that, so you're looking elsewhere for people to give you positivity of why your game is good. Holy Christ.
Which many of you aren't. There is a video I have called Feedback Needs Context. So you need to watch
I can make a whole video series probably watching all of his video series.
that. But let me give you the high-level example there, which is, if you just go, enemies are dumb, stop giving us dumb enemies. Okay, you just give negative feedback, but you give absolutely no context.
You made the game. You made the game. If I tell you your NPCs are shit, right? I'm giving you a broad stroke of their shit. And you're like, what does he mean by shit? Play your game. If I shoot at them and they don't move, dive, hide, flank, they don't do anything. They just sit there like a fucking doorstop, and I shoot them in the face. I'm like, this is not fun. Your NPCs suck. You're the developer. You created the game. You're like, well, what does he mean by that? I think our game is fine. Now, if I said it in a nice way and said, oh, I really love the way your NPCs don't move out of the way and that they don't take cover. I really do like that the fact that they don't flank us. Yeah, that's fantastic. I really do like that. Like, I think he's trying to tell us that he doesn't like our NPCs.
So it's not like they can go in and go, hey, programmer, can you click the checkbox for smart enemies? It may be that what you meant was, these enemies never take cover. There's cover all over the place that I use, but they never take it. Oh.
But you would know that because you didn't put the cover system, right? Like, our NPCs suck. Well, how do we fix that? Well, maybe we should put them behind cover. Maybe they should flank a bit. Nah, I don't think that's what he's talking about. I think we should add more enemies and give them more health. I think that's what he's talking about.
Oh, you want enemies to take cover more frequently. Okay, that's constructive. I can work on that. So think of it as a wish list too. Like, imagine somebody came up to you and said, hey, what do you think Tim Kaine would like for his birthday? If you said he would love a dark chocolate bar, at least 65% cacao, versus he hates white chocolate, what do you think is more likely to get me something I want?
Hold on a second.
He hates white chocolate.
I'm getting you white chocolate. I'm getting you white chocolate because I'm an idiot. He doesn't like white chocolate. Well, I'm going to get you a whole box of white chocolate because you weren't specific enough.
What do you think is more likely to get me something I want? The first one, I'm going to get a dark chocolate bar that's at least 65% cacao, which immediately puts it in a range of chocolate that...
If I know you as a person and Tim, I'm like, Tim doesn't like white chocolate, I wouldn't buy you white chocolate. You would just tell me and go, hey, Tim, you want something at the store? Yeah, give me a chocolate bar. Be like, great. I'll ask you a question. Be like, hey, Tim, what type of chocolate you like? Unless I knew you and said, you don't like white chocolate, right? That's correct, Mike. I don't like white chocolate. All right, thanks. I go to the store and I come back and I go, here you go. Here's a chocolate bar. I'll give you they didn't have anything. There was a Milky Way and a Snickers. I bought them both because I didn't know what you wanted because, Tim, you can't make a choice of very generalistic in what you want. So I got every single assortment of candy for you so you could choose what chocolate bar you would like.
That I absolutely adore. But the person who said he hates white chocolate, I may get a Snickers bar. Well, I don't want anyone back on Snickers. Snickers.
He doesn't even know what he wants right now.
Are okay. But you can see that just saying I hate white chocolate, maybe they're getting me a boat. I don't want a boat, but they're like, well, it's not white chocolate.
This guy is my wife. This guy's my wife. This is every person's wife. They don't make it so they can't make decisions. What would you like to eat? We did this earlier, right? Here's everything. Just pick what you want. Oh, why did you waste all that money buying all the chocolate? Oh my God, it's a never-ending battle. It's a never-ending battle.
But this is why it's so hard for developers to deal with your negative feedback. You're not telling them what you want. Just telling a developer what you don't want, guess what? The space of what you could want is huge, and you're not helping. In fact, you're in many ways you're hurting because you're jamming up the channel of communication with noise, with unactionable feedback. So you may think, well, this may not help, but it doesn't hurt. It hurts. It
hurts because you're reading it. Don't read the generic feedback. Only read the constructive criticism.
Jams up communication channels. Now, devs also want to provide games with features that are most wanted, because If you say, I like hot air balloon travel, and you're the only one among millions
Well, of course you're going to put a hot air balloon travel in there if one guy on Twitter wants it. Some guy said it. Why not? Let's throw it in. Let's take 6 months to put it in. But let's figure out what type of basket we're going to put it underneath or what type of balloon it's going to be.
potential game players, you're probably not going to get that. Maybe from a solo dev, but you're not going to get a big one. So that brings me to the question of this channel, of this particular video.
I forgot what the video was about. Oh, do gamers know what they like? Yes. The real answer to this video is, do developers understand what gamers want? He should relabel this.
Do gamers even know what it is they like? And I say this because people will say they want certain features, almost that they demand certain features and that they hate other ones. But then the sales figures do not bear that out.
That's correct. The game, I don't like microtransactions, and then everyone buys a microtransaction. So the developer goes, they like microtransactions, so they put microtransactions in the game.
They buy games that don't have the features they claim they demand, and they buy games with features they claim they hate. And I get that because games are an amalgamation.
That's exactly right, Luke. Perfectly said. The devs shouldn't read the comments. Leave it to the community manager. That's exactly what a community manager is supposed to do. Community manager is supposed to filter through all the non-informational stuff they need and then takes that once they scroll through and goes, you know what? 1,000 people said we need fast travel. Then takes it to the devs and go, we had 1,000 people ask for fast travel. Oh, okay, cool. We'll work on a fast travel. Right? Not Timmy146579 or eat my ass says we need a hot air balloon. Well, we better get on that. Let's get on that.
Of different features. It may have had some things you want and some things you don't, which is why it could really help when you leave feedback on that game. You say, I bought it because of these features, but I wished you had had these instead.
I bought your game because I thought it was complete.
Sales may not bear out what it is you said you wanted. Is one, you may be a minority opinion. You may really want a certain feature, but most people don't, or they don't care about it.
That's correct. But that's not my problem, Tim. My thing is, I played your game, I went to the forums, I start typing. Tim, I would like fast travel in your game, and the reason I like fast travel in your game is because your game is too wide open and you don't have anything. It's boring in between. Okay? You're not going to read that. You're only going to read the one that go, Tim, I really love everything in your game. Let me tell you all the ways I love your game. I love the way the graphics and the audio sounds and all of these things. And I really like how the guy walks across the water and the water sprays up and the swords sound really good and all this stuff. And at the end of my 19-page email, he's like, you know what? He didn't mention fast travel. Do you think he wants us to put fast travel in it?
And you can say everybody wants this, but not a lot of people do. I have a whole video on voiceover about that. And there were people who go, I don't care about voiceover. There are people who say I only buy games with voiceover. And there are people who said, yeah, I sometimes don't buy a game because if everything's voiced, I know it's a little rigid. But the flip side of why sales figures may not bear out your opinion is you may not guide your spending based on your...
Yeah, but no, Mo, he doesn't want to know it that way. You have to say it in a positive way, right? You understand? When I'm giving constructive, because he says when people tell him they don't like, there's no fast travel, in his own example, right? They don't want fast travel or they want fast travel. He's like, but how do you want the fast travel? What? That's you as the developer telling us how you put the fast travel in the game. We're telling you we want it like fast travel. Now you want me to tell you how to put fast travel in the game? Like, that's ridiculous. I'm supposed to be the developer now?
Your beliefs. And this can be knowingly or unknowingly.
These are, listen, constructive criticism, any criticism, constructive or not, is free information back to them. Free information. They actually made money to get that information, right? Someone bought that game, put their time into that game, and then took the time to give them an email, a Twitter shout out, whatever, a Reddit post. They paid to then give their feedback to that.
You may buy a game not knowing, you didn't check the reviews and you didn't realize it did this thing you don't like. That would be unknowingly. The knowingly part is when you say you don't want something, but you buy games that have it anyway.
Those are two different things. If one person, if he knows that person that said, I don't like microtransactions, and then he knows that this person bought microtransactions, then that would work. But if this person says, I don't like microtransactions, but then this person buys all the microtransactions, and he's just looking at this person going, well, you guys are buying microtransactions. That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
Because they're popular, because your friends are playing it, because it had a couple extra things you did like. Well, guess what? The devs can't figure out what's going on because people said they didn't want this, but the game sold well.
First of all, we know a stat. An actual stat is 20% of the people that buy a game make 80% of the profit. So the dev, okay, maybe the big wigs don't tell them this, okay? They're like, well, these people really like microtransactions, so we got to push more microtransactions because that's what our managers are telling us, right? Like, that is what happens because the few are making the boatloads of money, so they don't care about these people. They care about these people.
One issue is that none of those groups, people who are minority opinion or people whose spending groups, people who are what's going on because people said they didn't want this, but the game sold well. One issue is that none of those groups, people who are minority opinion or people whose spending doesn't align with their beliefs, whether knowingly or not, none of those groups are ever going to be well served by big business, by AAA games. And it's because they literally have to go after majority opinion to try to sell better.
Correct. Unless it's a free-to-play game. Unless it's a free-to-play game.
Occasionally there's a breakthrough where a game that no one expected or ever asked for.
And then when it doesn't sell well, it fails and bombs is because the game didn't do well because the majority of the population didn't buy your game. And then you're complaining that you're out of business.
Or bust through and everybody loves it. That's rare. And I've talked about with big budgets come less risk. If you have a minority opinion or you're somebody who doesn't spend like you talk, take a look at indie games. There's a ton of them. I'm sure there's one for you. In fact, there are so
Was that a nice way of saying, don't play my games?
many games out there, more games than you could ever play.
Sure, there's so many games. You'll never run out of games. I could play the games that just came out in December on Steam and be good for the next year.
There's more games out there that align exactly with how you want to play games than you could ever possibly purchase.
How do you know what I like? How does he know what every single person likes to play? How do you know?
Or play, and they already exist. So that leads me to the question of why is everybody?
If I like RPGs, and you make an RPG, but your RPG is not up to standards of the other RPGs that came out, why am I the person that's bad when I play your RPG and go, you know what? You got to fix these things in the RPG. This guy's hateful. I'm giving you criticism because I played every single RPG known to existence, and your RPG is not as to standard of the other RPGs that are in the field right now. Just giving you feedback. You could take that if you like it or not.
Everybody going online to complain because there are a ton of games that you would love, and the only conclusion I have is that you just like doing it. You just like complaining, and if that's you,
I have a question. Is this considered complaining? Just because he sounds nice. It sounds like he's complaining that gamers don't know what they like. Should I chalk this up as I don't want to listen to him? Or should we listen to him and accept it for what it is? Because he's 100% complaining that gamers don't know what they like.
that's fine. I get it. Just bear in mind, it's not helping you get better games that you want. It would be far better if you said exactly what it is you want.
That's what constructive criticism is. The people that give constructive criticism are telling you what they want. The people that are not telling you constructive criticism, you shouldn't listen to because they're just being broad. I hate it. Why do you hate it? I just hate it. Great. Move on. Move on.
Instead of just saying what it is you don't want. And then you have to sit and have that conversation with yourself. Do you even know what it is you want?
Do you even know what you want? Do you even know?
Do you know what you like?
Do you know how to read constructive criticism? What have we learned here? What have we learned here, chat? What have we learned here? I can tell you what we learned. We learned that I need to stop making AI songs because I have a song for this. I have a song of this, and it's called "Make a Game, Sell a Game."
With a spark, a vision in your mind, a world unbuilt, a hero undefined. Sketches on paper, a story to be told. Dreaming.
I like these theme songs while the videos are playing.
Code and design, long nights in the grind. Passion's the fuel when the stars don't align. From the art to the sound, every piece in its place. Building up a masterpiece, one line of code, one face. Make a game, sell a game, bring the dream alive. With blood.
And that's where I'll leave it. Make a game, sell a game. Make a game, sell a game. Okay? If you take the feedback because it's a live service game and you take it right now, or you take the feedback for your next game that you're creating, take the feedback of constructive criticism. The people that are giving you constructive criticisms are telling you exactly what they would like in the game. That's right, Mo. I learned that 30 makes constructive criticism even when he tries not to. That's right. Go on, Ford. Go on, gamer. Am I confused here? If your job, anyone's job, you're an artist, you're a tax guy, you're an insurance salesman, right? Your boss comes up to you and says, you got to sell more insurance. And you're like, but how? How am I supposed to do that? He's giving you criticism of, hey, man, you need to sell more. That's it. You're like, but what do you mean? I don't really understand. Let's have a meeting about it. Let's have a 20-minute meeting about it every single day over coffee and donuts. And let's decide what constructive criticism is. Let's decide. Right? I want to give feedback, but is he giving feedback? It sounds like he's not giving feedback, but I really don't understand what they're trying to say. Put me in charge. Someone put me in charge of a game. Please. I'll be a consultant. Okay? Someone put me in charge of a game and watch how fast it gets made in a fair way, because and please only apply if you want to take constructive criticism. Okay? Because if you don't like any type of criticism, don't work for me. Okay? Because not only of every managing position I've ever had in my entire life, okay, and been promoted and pushed forward, because if I tell someone to do something, I do it myself as well with them, so they don't feel like I'm just the person sitting in the back room with my feet on the table. Okay. Robert Jones says, so this video could have been an email instead of a work meeting. Like, no, this would be a 140 reply thread going back and forth over a course of a month and a half to figure out what balloon they would want for the fast travel that nobody asked for, except for that one person on Twitter they decided to listen to. All right, that's exactly what would happen. All right, let's have some fun now. Okay, CES is going on. We're watching some videos of tech stuff. Okay, let's have some fun. Let's look at some of the new tech that's coming out inside of CES. We have day 1 and day 2 from this channel called Max Tech. Okay. So let's watch and see what cool shit is coming out in CES. I wonder if these technicians, these people that created these robots and this cool shit that you're seeing at CES, if they got constructive criticism from the other people trying to make the actual product.
Hey guys, MaxTech team is here at CES 2025. So here is a highlight reel of the most interesting tech that we have this year.
Now, right from the get-go, we have something that looks cool, but also quite creepy. We've seen these robot dogs before, but they really stepped it up this year. They have a humanoid.
You should make this robot shake hands. What do you mean? Can you tell me how we would make this robot shake hands? Well, you would take your hand, put it out, and then you would make him shake it. Is that clear? Is that clear? Is that good? Okay.
Robot that is shaking hands with people. It's recognizing what's going on, and these little dogs.
I'm not going to shake hands with a robot. I'm not going to shake hands with a robot. The robot doesn't need me to shake his hand. Okay?
That you can buy for $1,600. That's like an M4 MacBook. These things are doing flips. They're standing on their back legs, their front. They're super agile, mobile. I know people use these.
Oh, they're so good. You can have a robot dog. You know, you can actually have an actual dog. Yeah, but you have to feed them. You have to feed those. And then you have to get outside and walk them. And you have to, like, do stuff. I just want to sit on my ass and then tell the robot to do a trick, like stand on your hands and knees.
For security. I don't know if we'd want one of these as a pet walking around your house looking all creepy, but if you wanted to walk with a...
No, you buy microtransactions for it. You put some stickers on it, put some antlers on it, put some cat ears, right? You can have a dog, fur coat on it. You put fur on it. Yeah. Yeah. The future's grim.
Camera, or even roll and keep your compound safe, maybe add a couple attachments.
Your compound?
Well, these things are very inexpensive now. Now, one huge thing at this CES is gaming, especially with NVIDIA finally announcing their 5000 series of GPUs. Now, I'm here at the Gigabyte booth, and of course, the last few years, AI has been massive, and it's crazy to see all of these different server setups for AI compute. The amount of...
I wonder why they're doing all these servers with AI computing and stuff. I wonder if cloud game is going to be big. I don't know. I don't know who said it before.
Power that they have there, the crazy power cables that are coming in, and the cooling that is needed is insane. Now, with that, because AI is so huge, so many GPUs, especially from NVIDIA, were bought out for AI use. And it's really nice to see that NVIDIA actually lowered the price of the 80 series. So the 5080 is $999. Some people were saying it's gonna be $1,200, $1,500.
That thing is fucking gigantic.
I'm so glad that the price tags are lower. Now, of course, some of the specs that they gave out, they're inflated because of extra frame generation, but in general, performance is better. And the cool thing is the cards actually got, on average, 10% smaller as well. And Gigabyte has a variety of cards. We have a pure water block card. No pricing yet on that one, but that looks sweet. And then also the all-in-one water cooling one. That's the one that I want to pick up to keep everything nice and cool and quiet. But I think the 5080 is going to be the star of the show if you can pick one up. The size is good. It's a double slot design. They have their Gigabyte 5090 and they have their Aorus one, which is pretty dang massive, and at 575 watts. That's a lot. Once you add everything else in our gaming room that we have, I don't know if we can pull that much power without tripping the breaker, but it is an exciting time if you're a gamer.
So exciting. I can't wait to buy this card and then upgrade my power supply in my house.
So many different PCs. A lot of the
Go on, Heck.
PC pre-built manufacturers are actually starting to use more standardized parts for upgrades later. I mean, it's a nice
Yeah, we talked about it a little
time to be
earlier.
in the gaming space.
And here we are at our partner BeatBot's booth. They're showing off the new AquaSense 2 lineup of robotic pool cleaners. We have the AquaSense 2 right here. The AquaSense...
Now, this is what robots are made for, right? Like, you make the robot do the pool cleaning for you, right? Like getting out there and doing the fucking little scraper off the thing and like make it do. That's what robots should do.
AquaSense 2 Pro.
I don't need to shake hands with this robot. I'm not high-fiving. All right, go do your job now, little robot. Get in there, Deepbot.
And then the AquaSense 2 Ultra, which I'm going to focus on, the world's first AI-powered 5-in-1 robotic cleaner. It's loaded with AI cameras and 27 sensors. It basically maps out the shape and everything about your pool so it can perfectly clean it, and actually senses debris that it can go clean. It can skim the top. It can scrub the sidewalls twice. It can clean the bottom. It also has a clear water clarification system, which puts out basically the chemicals that
Put your G.I. Joe figures on there. The kids can use it as a toy. Got a flotation device. They add a little koozie on there so you can put your beer on there as you're in the pool. I can see a lot of accessories for this thing.
keep your pool clean. It also has TÜV's privacy certification for the cameras, so no worries about that. And the whole AquaSense 2 line is launching on February 10th. And they all have a 3-year warranty. This right here is the Shore self-docking and charging station, which has this really cool ramp that will come down, allow the AquaSense 2 Ultra to go up. And
let me tell you, my robot has problems getting back to the station. We have one of those round robots that goes around and cleans the house. Half the time, I don't even know where the fuck it is. I'm like, we call it O because very original. It's an O, okay? And I'm like, has anyone seen the vacuum? And now I have to do a nice little game of, let's find O. Hey, O, where are you? And I got to look underneath the couch. I got to get on my hands and knees, looking underneath the wall unit. He's fell off the back of the fucking the thing over here. He's stuck underneath, wedged underneath a door, right? Yeah, it's one of my favorite games. The vacuum does such a good job, and I really love playing hide and seek afterwards and search and find and rescue.
in charge at the top, so it's basically fully automated.
Dad, the robot's in the pool again. Oh, God damn it! Why it's not even cleaning? It's upside down again. For fuck's sake!
And they also have this really awesome BeatBot amphibious robo turtle for research and ecology, where it can go down, scan different materials, debris with all these sensors. So use the links down below to check out the AquaSense 2 lineup and their new launch that's coming. And
no, Krebsy, see, you poor soul. See, you think you're so smart. Oh yeah, hey Alexa, just bring it back. No, it's tangled underneath or stuck, and because it was sitting underneath the couch going for 4 hours, the battery is completely drained, and now you can't find it. But thanks for the advice. I'll follow that.
also sign up for BeatBot's exclusive event.
And of course, we have the rideables. Now, I remember having a little go-kart growing up. Now there are so many better options and things that you don't have to mess with carburetors, pull starts that are breaking. I mean, look at this cute thing. It's so tiny. This is like for a 1-year-old or a little 2-year-old. You don't have to be huge to have fun. So if you have kids, now is a great time. And the cool thing,
those sound expensive. We know because we have a couple.
is, compared to your Power Wheels back in the day, they got some nice upgrades here. So this is like a little Jeep thing. Now, cool thing is the quality is so...
Let's just call it what it is. It's a really expensive fucking Power Wheel. All right?
so much better than the plastic seats. And with that, the wheels, these are rubber. This is gonna get some good...
Oh, that's fucking expensive. Rubber wheels? Oh yeah, that's expensive.
grip, not just peeling out like when my kids were small, batteries dying very quickly. Now, of course, at the Hyper booth, they got a bunch of stuff. You got this kind of lowrider, go-kart kind of thing. A lot of e-bikes. We love e-bikes and things like that. Your little Stasic kind of competitors over here too. So now's the time to be into rideables. And
does anybody else still not wear a helmet when you ride a bike? Do you guys put a helmet on when you ride a bike? I've never worn a helmet. Ever. Never worn a helmet.
right across right over there, it's not only for little kids now. If you're an adult and you want to go off-roading, you can even get an electric ATV with over 200 miles of range now. Huge suspension,
Well, mountain bike, sure, heck. If you're going fucking in the forest and you can smash into a tree and stuff, I'm talking about I'm riding my bike down the street. Are you wearing a helmet? Ford's like bicycle. Never.
Wheel drive where you can switch into rear, get more range.
I'm not talking about like ATV and motorcycles and stuff. I'm talking about riding a bicycle. Like you're going to the grocery store.
If you love electric stuff, this is really cool.
And here we're at the next booth. This is Taurus, our partner for this video. They're showing off a lot of cool products focused on their stand cases and some of their really cool cooling tech. So they have some new cases. This is their stand case Air. Then we have the Fitness, which is more slim compared to the Air, which has like these.
Altern says, I mean, if I'm not risking hitting my head open, why even ride a bicycle? I mean, yeah, it's the thrill of riding a bicycle. I could get a concussion at any moment. Exciting.
Bumpers on top, and they also have their spin.
I mean, I could trip right now. Should I be wearing a helmet right now? You know what I mean? Like, should I be wearing a helmet all the time?
Case. Now, the cool thing is that they have their new Mega Mag.
Luke says, I fell, don't mind my basement and survived. Hell no, a helmet on a bike. You should be wearing a helmet in the house now, Luke.
Magnetic system, which actually has an 8-layer magnetic case structure. And this year they've upgraded the kind of sound. When you spin it, it makes this nice little satisfying sound when it goes through. And you could basically just choose any kind of spot you want for.
So are you wearing a full 5 harnessed vest inside the car? Are you wearing a racing helmet while you're in the car too? Because I'm not worried about my driving either, but I'm worried about others. Should I put a roll cage in my car?
For your stand, which is awesome. And right here they have their new line of chargers. They have their Flex line. They have the USB-C cable built in magnetically.
I love how the company who made these originally, Apple or Google, they used to give you the charger and the cable, but then they decided to take away the charger and then take away the cable. Right? So now there's a third-party company making a charger and a cable, and they're like, this is groundbreaking. It extends outside the cable. It's so good. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about?
And it's retractable. And then they have this thing right here. This is their Polar Circle MagSafe Qi 2 charger. So you get 15-watt charging, but they're using their semiconductor cooling tech, which you can see the frost on this. It basically cools it down while you're charging. So a lot of times with a Qi 2 charger.
Yeah. A charger with a cable and a plug? The future is bright.
You're charging your phone, but it overheats. It slows down the charging speed and your display dims. This basically counteracts that by cooling it down so you don't have that issue and you charge faster, and it has this cool stand built in. So
make the problem. Tech loves this. Make the problem, sell the solution.
So definitely use the links below to check out their stand cases and these new chargers. Thanks, Taurus, for sponsoring this video.
Now, if you're tired of
Let's take the cooling out of the actual devices. Then let's make the actual processing power heat up the things that we're using, and then sell the separate fan outside. Brilliant.
rolling your luggage around with you, I'm here at AOTUS, if I'm saying it right, and you can literally ride your carry-on. Now, I tried this out. It was very fun. I almost fell over on it.
My son would love that.
A little bigger and a little top.
My son, every time he go to any type of store, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, any place. We have like outlets here in Florida, but like the premier outlets, lots of tourists and stuff go there. There's luggage everywhere, right? For some reason, I don't know what it is about you Europeans and stuff. You guys don't travel with suitcases or something. I actually understand why you guys do it, but they always leave with suitcases. They come with nothing and they leave with suitcases filled with clothes and they go sell them back in their country. But my son takes all the suitcases and he runs full speed and he jumps on it and then rides it along. This is his dream right here.
Heavy, but it's
This
a
is his dream right
motorized carry-on suitcase where your handlebar will actually collapse, go in, same with the little foot pegs, and you still have plenty of space inside. I was
He needs a helmet if he rides the suitcase.
really surprised. And you actually can pull out the whole battery out of it. It's a power bank, so you can actually charge up your phone or whatever else you want to charge, all in one unit. Now, it comes in at $500. That's their target as far as price point. So more expensive than a cheap carry-on. But
I think there's a weight limit. She weighs 50 pounds soaking wet.
But I've seen people buy carry-ons for that price tag just for nice luggage. And this thing, you can literally ride around the airport.
Someone like Hoss from, well, that's not his name, but the comic book guy from The Simpsons, he would need 2 of those at least, minimum.
Told it is legal to ride them around and just stow it while you're going somewhere to make sure you have it with you. So that is really cool and fun. Now, if you're tired of living in a normal house, AC Future is saying that this is the future of homes. Now,
if you're tired of living in a normal house, no, what the real thing is, are you tired, not able to afford anything? Well, we got the answer for you. Here's a really nice mobile home trailer.
I have my own camper trailer. I've been in plenty of RVs, and I have to say, this thing is amazing. Now, it is a prototype, but the quality of it is impressive. Now, this thing is all electric as far as driving, but what really surprised me is they said they're gonna have multiple
An electric RV? I don't know if I would trust that.
versions, and the
Not yet, anyway.
base price for this thing is $289,000, if that
10 years from now, live daily grind from my RV.
actually comes out. It's supposed to be out in about a year and a half for the first production, and for an RV that is this large, that actually is not a bad price. I was thinking $500,000. Now, a lot of RVs have slides, but the slides on here are massive. They pop out so much. They have solar panels on top. The whole back slides out. I mean, this thing drove in here, fully working, small, and then it gets huge. And inside, it's very modern, minimalistic. Everything is actually working, which a lot of times...
By the way, this comes with a charger and a cable. Just so you guys know.
It's not with prototypes, and as far as the weight, I have no idea, but this thing has like semi-wheels on here with all the battery packs. It's gonna be crazy heavy, but the cool thing is the first model is gonna be an ADU that they're gonna be putting out, which is like a mini home, plus they have a camper trailer version, and then this full-on mobile home. Now, I don't think this is the future of living, but it is very cool.
All right, guys, so that was day 1. There's a lot more cool tech that we haven't shown you yet, so definitely subscribe and stay tuned for tomorrow's day 2 video.
All right, so there's day 1. Let me go to day 2. Day 2. Day 2. Make sure it's loud enough. All right.
Hey guys, day 2 here at CES. A lot of cool and exciting things to show you guys, so let's go check it out.
Now, one booth that I wasn't really expecting to be so impressed at is Hisense. I remember when they first came out, very budget devices.
Hisense, that's the they make television sets, don't they? I could have sworn I've seen a couple of those. What'd you guys send me inside of? How to turn off and hold the sprint for Cap America? Sweet. All right, I'll look at that later.
Is not super high end, very cheap, but now they are doing incredible things. There's so much going on in here. We have TVs upon TVs and projectors, and ones that look amazing. Their TV tech is now reaching the very top while you're getting better prices. Super crazy bright ones. You have gaming displays, you have mini LED.
Let's say 136, 163. Jesus Christ, you're going to need a whole wall. That's not going to fit in my RV. That's not going to fit in the RV.
You have massive ones. I even entered this theater room where the projection wasn't that impressive, but it was more their partnership with DVLA for the sound. You have these phantoms all over, sounded absolutely insane, and the projector was probably the cheapest thing in that room. But even their regular laser projectors look great in this kind of mixed lighting conditions. One thing that I was impressed by is their new canvas TV. I have a frame, I've had multiples at different homes, I love it. And finally, we have some competition.
That's a really expensive picture frame. I mean, I guess you could use it as a television as well.
Where you can have Google OS, Google TV running on it a lot better than the Samsung on mine. You can actually walk up and it gives you your customized home view with whatever you want on there. It looks really nice, and it's nice to have some competition along with some other very cool, unique designs.
Here we are at the Project Urban 23 booth.
I mean, it's a step up from the luggage that we just saw. You could ride the luggage or you could ride this.
And check this out. I am in my own personal golf cart. This is the modern golf cart, guys. You got the golf clubs in the back.
Well, rich people, Krebsy, in their rich houses don't like what the television looks like. So what they do is they put their television behind a frame, but now they're making frames for the high-end people that are never home. So now all their pictures, instead of just being a picture, they can have millions of pictures on their wall that they're never home in.
But I love how you have everything covered here. This is not just a golf cart. It actually does go up to 100 kilometers per hour, basically like 60 miles an hour. This is actually a modular system. So if you go over here, you could actually order, kind of choose the parts.
It says, please don't sit here. He sat in one.
And put together one of these guys right here, which can be perfect for like city living. In the inner city, you don't need a car. Grab one of these, or the scooter in the back, you can see, has one wheel. This thing has two. You basically can mix and match a bunch of different parts together to create what you need, all the way up to a golf cart, which is really cool. I mean, this is the first time seeing something like this. Yeah, this is...
Heck is like, so it's a moped? Yes. But now you can customize it for what you would like. Okay? Because these are the same guys when they designed it, like, let's make a moped. Like, yeah, but how do people really want the moped? We should take some constructive criticism. How would you like the moped? Well, I really like the wheels. What kind of wheels he didn't tell us what kind of wheels he would like. Let's give him an assortment of wheels.
This is perfect for like businesses that can do like, let's say, food delivery, where you can have like boxes for storage in the back for putting pizzas in, food, anything else. It's just modular in so many different ways.
This right here is probably the coolest helmet you can wear
For your bicycle. This would be the coolest helmet you wear for your bicycle. No, I'm kidding.
as a motorcycle rider. And the reason is this heads-up display. And it actually shows the rear cameras while you're riding, which is...
Now, this is cool, okay? Because if you're a motorcyclist and now you can see behind you because you don't have to turn around anymore, and you can actually see your rear view within your heads-up display, that's very good.
really nice. And it also has a G-force sensor. So say you have an accident, you fall over 15 seconds. If you're not responding, it'll actually give a call out to the emergency services. And this company is called Intelligent Cranium Helmets. And this is their CR1 Rider Edition. And it's the coolest thing I've seen yet so far in helmets.
That's cool.
And here we are at our partner Dreams booth. This is one of my favorite companies that make the best robotic vacuum products.
More robot vacuums. I can't wait to find this one. Let's see where I can find this one at now.
Right here is their latest X50 Ultra robot vacuum with a couple of really awesome features. The first one they're showing off here is the Pro Leap system.
Oh, good. Now it can climb stairs. Fantastic.
Which basically has robotic legs that will be able to cross thresholds. The next major feature is the Hyperstream Detangling Duo Brush, which has two brushes that spin opposite from each other with a TV certification for 100% of hair detangling. You have the LDS sensor, which is their LiDAR. It essentially can retract down into the chassis to clean under low furniture. Next up, we have their wet and dry.
I'm confused. That's what most of them do right now.
Into the chassis to clean under.
So the sensor goes in. Okay. That's not a selling feature. You literally made the problem with the sensor up on top that pops up, and now it goes into the normal what the vacuum used to do.
It essentially can retract down into the chassis to clean under low furniture. Next up, we have their wet and dry vacuums, which are, in my opinion, the best. I have some at home. This is actually the H12 Pro Flex Reach, which has some awesome new features. It has up to 18,000 PAs of suction, and it has a tangle
In the future, we'll just have a robot do it.
cut feature where hair will not get tangled. It's also got a lie flat feature. It has a really nice self-cleaning base station right here with 90 degrees Celsius hot water washing. And
I can see myself giving this to my son and going, here, can you vacuum? He'll be like, vacuum on. Vacuum on. Dad, it's not doing anything. No, you actually have to put it in your hand. How am I supposed to do this? You have to put it in your hand and move it.
And it has
My set actually knows how to vacuum.
5-minute flash dry as well. And the last thing they have is a brand new Z1 Pro robotic pool cleaning
Is this a different one that we saw in the last video?
system with a bunch of new pool sense obstacle avoidance and cleaning features.
Fucking Spider-Man, dude.
So thank you, Dream, for sponsoring this video. You can find all the links down below to pre-order those new products that I just showed. Here we are now at Xpeng. We have the AirOut, which is basically...
I can see so many problems with this thing. I know we all want flying cars, but can you imagine the guy in front of you in the mornings that doesn't go on green? Can you imagine the guy that's texting and that doesn't want to like pay attention to the road, but now he's in the sky?
like a personal kind of drone copter thing where you have this box van pull up somewhere, kind of release it, you park, and then you jump into this thing and go fly through the mountains apparently, which is really cool. I mean, who knows how many years it's going to take until these actually go on the market.
Oh, no, they're going to be everywhere. But then we're going to have passed some laws of airspace protecting the birds, because so many birds have been murdered and find birds chopped up on people's properties all the time, because my neighbor has one of these things, and every time he turns it on, it's a noise complaint. And now we have a noise ordinance, and you can't have it in your community. There's so many things that have to change with the landscape that we have in our today's state of living. It doesn't work.
Market, because even now it's like, dang, this is crazy. But either way, it's really cool to see companies doing crazy stuff like this, and eventually we will see these out in the market, and it's going to be awesome.
And next up, we're here at Charge and their beautiful booth here.
Charge.
Out in the market, and it's going to be awesome.
And next up, we're here at Charge and
Sarge. Okay.
their beautiful booth here, and they're a longtime sponsor, and they have a couple new items up their sleeve. Retractable 65, it just retracts right there, and they got another USB-C cable. And next up we have their Shard Geek 300 watt. It can charge up to 2 MacBook Pros 16-inch at 140 watts each. This one has RGB lighting that is customizable to any color that you'd like. Next up we have the Shard Ice Mag 2, and this thing is really awesome. It has MagSafe with Qi 2, 15 watts, and when it's charging, the little fan cools down the internals. And a cool little product that you might want is the Charge Disc Plus. It's a SSD enclosure.
The answer is yes, I'll turn. Yes.
That hooks up to your phone. You just simply put it on, and with this cable, plug it into your phone, and you can record onto it. And next up, we have these Lumis glasses from Charge. They're similar
What a weird name. Charge.
to the Meta glasses that Meta came out with, but the big difference here is that you get a battery that's 3 times larger, and you get a 16 megapixel camera, which is better than the Meta glasses, and you still get ChatGPT 4.0, and we'll have all these products in the
Can't wait. Can't wait.
description below, so definitely check them out. And Charge, thank you for sponsoring this video.
We're here at the huge LG booth where they actually showed off this transparent wireless TV technology last year, but here they have a brand new setup where they have these motorized TVs, which is really cool because they're all transparent. I don't know how useful that is in the real world though. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. The technology is amazing. I think it's like 144 hertz, but they do have some setups showing off how you use it.
Yeah, where would you use this? I could see corporate events and stuff using stuff like this, like at a convention show. But I don't know where you would use this at. Would you put this on a window? Like your television sets on a window? And then it turns on so it's not taking up space? Like, would you put this like between your, like, if you had an open floor plan between like your kitchen and your living room, and that way you can watch? Like, how does that work?
In the home, I don't know how convincing it is unless like you have
Yeah, I guess they have it like in a bookshelf there.
the TV as part of the window, and then you have like a blackout blind to kind of like save space so you don't have to mount it anywhere on the other walls. That could be useful.
Be interesting if that was your windows. Your windows were all of a sudden they are just television sets.
They also have a bunch of other tech mainly focused on displays, like they have this crazy 5K, 2K.
I'm sorry. Did he just say 5K, 2K? World's first 5K 2K bendable gaming monitor. For God's sakes.
2K bendable gaming monitor.
I can just hear all the videos that people made instantaneously on YouTube. On the PlayStation 6, you could do 5K. The Xbox Series X, you can do 5K. I can hear it now.
Where there's like 20 different settings to kind of change how much curvature the display has, which is really cool. So
I mean, that's cool that it bends.
if you have like a racing game or something, you can change it, adjust it, which is awesome. All right, I'm here
5K 2K means that the low setting's 2K, the high setting's 5K, so it does minimum 2K.
at the Toke Dance booth where I have the Makerzoid.
Bell says 30. Guess what? What?
So this is basically like a cool DIY Lego style kind of car that you can build and remote control. So here
all of a sudden my son comes in and starts to bend the tail. He's like, I saw this bends. No, this one doesn't bend. Broke.
Here you can actually see on the front, they put a little mount for a camera so you can basically drive around and record stuff. But I have some kids at home
Look at GXG
that would
News.
absolutely go crazy for something like this that they could customize and build and then get to go drive around. I mean, this is really cool. This is one of the coolest things so far. And now I'm just thinking about my kids. So I might have to pick one of these up. This is really cool.
Thank you guys for watching. Day 3 is coming up.
God, I love being right.
Full. So let us know your thoughts in the
Fucking A, I love being right. Sorry. Son of a bitch. All right. If you want to watch that, go watch Max Tech. I have both descriptions down below. Max Tech. We watched 2 videos from CES there. Oh, Stealth. Thank you very much for the and Krebsy for posting that. That's fantastic. Can we got to read this, right? Oh, boy, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. This is so good. So good.
It starts with a spark, a vision in your mind, a world unbuilt, a hero undefined. Sketches on paper, a story to be told, dreaming of the magic, the pixels turn to gold. Code and design, long nights in the grind, passion's the fuel when the stars don't align. From the art to the sound, every piece in its place, building up a masterpiece, one line of code, one face. Make a game, sell a game, bring the dream alive.
As I read this, I'll have this playing in the background. Let me see, where is it? Is it the I think this is the one.
I'll gather round and I'll sing you a tale of the gaming giant whose ship set sail.
I'll read it to music.
Glory and treasures bold, but a year of woes left their story cold.
Okay.
Ubisoft, though, what have you done?
Strategic update. Paris, January 9th, 2025. Following strategic and execution. Let me just lower that just a little bit. We'll play the Ubisoft song. Ubisoft announced today that it has appointed lead advisors to review the pursue various transformational, strategic, capitalistic options to extract the best value for stockholders. This process will be overseen by independent members of the board of directors, and Ubisoft inform the market ordinance to acceptable regulations if and once the transaction materializes. Operational, the company will continue to drive significant cost reductions together with the highly selective approach to investment, and now expects to exceed $200 million in reduction of its fixed cost based on the fiscal 2025-2026 year, okay, or the fiscal year of 2022 and 2023. As an annualized base in December, X-Defiant was discontinued as 3 production studios in high-cost geographics were closed. Additionally, as part of this renewed focus of gameplay quality, engaging day one experience, it has been decided to provide additional month of development to Assassin's Creed Shadows. This additional time will allow team to better incorporate the player feedback gathered over the past 3 months and help create the best conditions for launch by continuing engaging the closely and increasingly positive Assassin's Creed community. And this game is now scheduled for March 20th.
Now the years may pass and the tides may turn, but lessons taught must still be learned. For a gamer's trust is a fragile thing. Ubisoft, will you rise again to sing? Now the years may pass and the tides may turn, but lessons taught must still be learned. For a gamer's trust is a fragile thing. Ubisoft, will you rise again to sing?
Fantastic. I'm so glad I made a song about it. So go back and watch my other videos saying that Ubisoft will be delayed yet again. Okay. Okay. I said that it was not coming out in February. I said it would probably come out in March, maybe April. And the problem here is it's going to continue to agree what I said, okay? Because now it's delayed even more. And it's because of polishing. And the videos look great, don't they? The new gameplay that they showed looks fantastic. The game's going to come out, and it's going to be broke, it's going to be buggy, and it's going to be unfinished. And it'll be fixed over the next 6 to 8 to 12 months. That's what's going to happen, because that is Ubisoft. If you can't see what Ubisoft does, okay, every single game besides Prince of Persia, okay, every single game that they've come out with has been broke, buggy, unfinished, okay, and has to get fixed over the next year, okay, or they just close them down, okay. Fantastic. It's like the Christmas gods. Delayed again. We have what is this? Jason Schreier has the right now. News: Assassin's Creed Shadows delayed again. Now to March 20th. Ubisoft says the company's pursued various transformational stuff. Ubisoft CEO: we've convinced that the several political paths will generate. Okay. Also launching way too close to Monster Hunter Wilds. Well, we knew that. There's no way. Right? But they got to get it out. They got to get it out, because if they keep waiting, more games are going to come out. It's going to get overshadowed by something else. AC Shadows will be overshadowed by something else. That's just what's going to happen. What'd you say, Argus? I got an argument on Lono's stream back in the day for saying it wasn't the document as gay or doing things like that in history, and they shouldn't take the liberals and a real person. This is the only time they've actually brought a real person that you can use. They've had other characters they've used in Assassin's Creed, like Michelangelo and stuff like that. But I don't think that was the main reason, though. The main reason it was getting pushback, though, Argus, was because of it wasn't representing what they said it was. And people over here in the States, we don't have a dog in the fight, right? Or pony in the race, whatever you want to call it. It was the people over in Japan that were like, yeah, this is not even accurate to where we live, right? So, and then other people around the world are like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's a huge big deal for them, right? If you're going to use their country in a video game, then represent it correctly. You could take leeways with like characters that you create and put in, but if you're taking a whatever character and bringing them into the world and then make it the way you want to, it's a little weird. Fine for fictional characters, but for real people in history, I don't think that's liberty they should just take. Well, they did it. They do it in movies all the time, right? They literally made a movie about Cleopatra, and they made her black in the film, and she's not a black woman, right? I mean, that's what it is, right? And again, people that watch the show or the movie, they're like, oh, it's not a big deal, but it is to the people that are from that area, because it doesn't represent what it actually is. Dolphin says Japan's all about respect, and they disrespected it. Yeah, yeah. That also got backfired by the people in Egypt. Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like they for us to say that it's no big deal from people that don't live in those areas is ridiculous. Can I say something real fast? Because this is crazy, right? The fires that are happening in LA, I just saw this on Twitter. These almost look, and they're not. These are not AI generated. Okay. These are actual photos taken from the actual thing. Like, it's insane what's happening over there right now. And this is a whole different conversation I don't want to have, but just looking at what's happening over there is fucking insane. Like the 100-mile-an-hour winds that are happening. Nuts. If anyone's over there, be safe. If you live in that area. They change Twitter. The whole layout's different. Well, like, what is happening right now? Oh, that's weird. Oh, it wasn't Twitter. That's why. I was like, what is happening here? That's Blue Sky. I was like, what is this? They changed the whole fucking thing. I was like, what is that? Because I clicked on that link that you sent for Jason Schreier. Oh, is he not on? Is he not on Twitter anymore? Did he get off of Twitter? I like how the only people that respond to my Twitter account are like porn bots. It's amazing. Jason says it is hilarious. It's hilarious how some of the fire hydrants have no water and still can't park next to them. Well, the funny part, it's not really funny. They passed their law to go dry. They didn't prepare to like soak down the areas, and because it wasn't fire season. I don't care what anyone says. I will take a hurricane over mudslides, earthquakes, and fires any day of the year. Okay? Any day of the year, I will take a hurricane. I can see it coming. I can protect myself. I can get out of Dodge if I want to. The hell was that? If there are any ex-developers or Splash Damage or ex-employees willing to chat about Transformers Reactivate, I would love to hear about your story and vision of the game. Yeah, hopefully someone comes out. I'll take all 4 seasons over hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, fires, and East Coast. Yeah. Like, you can't control that. Did you see that? Did you see that video of the people trapped in their house and they had the video running? It was the 2 guys and their dog, and the fires that are surrounded. They're surrounded. 100-mile-an-hour winds. Like, what would you do? What would you do? You can't do anything. You're either stuck in your house and your house is about to burn down, okay? Or you got to get out of the house, but you don't know how far the fire is, right? My wife looked at that and she goes, what would we do? I go, if that happened to us, I said, I would get every piece of clothing as much as possible, and I would soak it in water. And I would put layer after layer after layer on top of you. You would cover your face, and we would bolt out of the house. That's what we would do. You would be like drenched, right? You'd be drenched, and your face would look like this. This is all you would see, okay? That's all you would see. It's like, do you stay in the house, right? Do you stay in the house and die? Or do you put your life in your own hands and get the hell out of Dodge? Crazy. Yeah, we just talked about it, Mo. We just talked about it. I read the whole thing, played the song. And at this point, okay, it's like a book is already written with these companies. Okay? Right now, I said it was delayed.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Jerry.
We don't care. We don't care. Unless you can find some few fire-resistant rings. Saw here where Rich, though, had a sprinkler water system on the roof. Wouldn't even know that existed. I mean, there's ways to protect your area, but it's hard to do when you have no water. Sweet. KFC's in our chat. Love your chicken. What did Krebsy say? If not be to leave before the fire gets to the house. At that point, though, you didn't know what was happening. It literally spread super fast because of the 100-mile-an-hour winds that was happening. It's easy to say, get out of there, but you don't know if it's coming. So, right? But the thing is, in the moment, what do you do? In the moment, what do you do? That's insane. So do we think that Assassin's Creed gets pushed back even more? Or it comes out March, end of March, and then it's just broke? Or incomplete, I should say. Not broke. Incomplete. To be fixed over time. All right, what time is it? 12:30? 12:20? All right, we have a show tonight, Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. That's at 8 p.m. tonight. Make sure you guys come out tonight for that. If you guys missed any part of the news that we did this week, go check out some of our other Daily Grind episodes. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We do gameplay, we do uploads, we do podcasts, we do Monday and Tuesday. Or Monday we played Indiana Jones. We beat Indiana Jones. We finished that. I have a thoughts / not really a review, but my thoughts on Indiana Jones after 40 hours of playing it. Go check that out. And then we also played some Marvel Rivals with the community the last 2 nights. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, afternoon. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as low as $5. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty tuned in daily. Don't to miss. Entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset 2, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Controller ready, headset 2, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Laughs and news, our winning blend, the show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive, the daily grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss. Entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun below. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. Tune in daily, don't you miss. Entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Come on in, your morning